Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Nerds Order Music interview. Today, I'm with two members of the band Jet Set Future. How you guys doing today?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Doing good. Doing good. Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Well, do you want to go first?
I'll let you go.
So my name's Meg, and I'm originally from Newton, New Hampshire. Then moved to Plymouth, Mass, where I met my bandmates. Let's see, and I've always been singing since I was a little kid, songwriting, and I guess that's, what else should I mention? 25. My favorite color is purple. My favorite animal is a lion. Mike?
I'm Mike. I play guitar. Started out, our band 4 years ago, almost 5 at this point.
Yeah.
I'm 31. I've been playing in tons of bands my whole life for almost 20 years. Metal, hardcore, indie rock, alt rock, you literally name it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. I would say it's good.
Nice. So how did the band start?
So it's pretty cool. So I wasn't really like in search of a band. I hadn't even really found my rock sound yet, but one day I just got a Facebook message from this guy and I didn't know him, and I almost was like, oh, okay, it's just like a strange, like, I don't know who you are, maybe I'm not gonna look into it. But I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna see what he wants. And he was like, hey, like, I know this is pretty random, but like, do you want to be in a band? And I was like, it's pretty forward, but I just feel like my intuition's telling me to go see if there's anything there. And from there we just clicked really well. So that was me and our drummer EJ. And from there, you know, he introduced us to Mike introduced us to Ben, I introduced them to George. So it was like building blocks, like slowly, but it all started with me and EJ and just that one message.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was her and EJ, and EJ ironically replaced me on drums in a band, and I moved to guitar, and then that band fizzled, and then kind of just sort of mixed with her band and his. So, it took some elements of each and
A fusion.
created a super group.
Love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, you never expect that to happen. I love seeing this. Like, it's so rare, but when it happens, like, the outcomes are amazing. And from everything I've heard so far, I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, it's cool.
Thank
It
you.
seems like it was like just fate, if you will, how things just sort of happen and when they happen. So when everyone kind of aligns in the right place at the right time.
What made you guys think of the band name?
Oh yeah, so
You want me to explain this one?
yeah, this is better for you.
So the bassist and I, so Ben and I, the bassist, used to play in this band called The Plaid, where I played guitar and co-sang along with a singer, and he was the bassist, and a drummer. Our first album was called Jet Set Future, which comes from a lyric of the song called Summer Street that I wrote and sang on. Ironically, when we got together with our band, we call it Summer Street. And then obviously you Google it, we're on page 98. So I was like, hey,
It was actually a boy band, so we were like, okay, we need to get a new name. So then we pulled the name from a lyric that he had written. And yeah, at first I was like, I don't know, I don't like it, but it grew on me, and I'm glad. And I feel like it has a positive, like, a message behind it too, because when you hear Jet Set Future, like, I hope that it makes people think like, oh, like, there must be positive on the horizon, and I wanted to like make people maybe feel good in some type of way. So I think you did good on that choice, even if I was not sure at the beginning. I like it.
I really love the name too. Like, I love seeing unique band names like that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of bands going with names that are more towards their genre, which is like, okay, but it makes them all seem like the same. And then when you see bands with unique names, it really stands out.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think like a name is a very important part of it all. And it kind of sets the image for like what they're expecting. So yeah, the more you can stand out, the better.
Exactly. How would you describe the music you create?
So I could kind of go on, like, we all have definitely very different backgrounds. So like Mike mentioned, like, he comes from metal and hardcore, as well as Ben and EJ. So there's a lot of interesting metal, hard rock type things going on. And like, that was not me. So I bring a much softer melodic vibe to it, pop. And hold up. Okay, so I was talking about the guys with their metal background, and that like I came from pop. So it's an interesting mix of how we merged those two things. And with their influence, it really helped me find my own rock sound. And I started to think like, I'd never really like dove into that. But then when I looked back, I was like, wow, most of my influences when I was younger was rock. I mean, definitely rock and pop, but I was like, it was almost like it was always in me, and they really helped me like find it. And the merging of the genres, like, I'm really, I feel like is very special and unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
sorry, you go first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's like the bassist and I have been in bands. Oh God, for 18 years now, just playing in different bands. Starting off with, like grindcore type bands, evolving into like hard rock bands, and then punk rock, and then it just kept kind of exploring like post-hardcore, post-alternative, and literally it's like everything we've evolved is just come full circle in this band where we get to use all of it. So it's kind of awesome.
Nice. Now, speaking of inspirations, what were a few of your inspirations for getting into music?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Oh boy. Let's see. It's always weird when I say this, but Prince as a guitarist is so underrated. First of all,
I agree with you on that, actually.
Yeah.
Favorite band growing up was Kiss. Next would have to be probably like I said, Converge, American Nightmare, and this band Hopes Fall. That's like melodic hardcore. I don't know, it's kind of all over the place because I always cite like Beastie Boys because they used to be a punk band, but then after, like So What You Want stuff, they're playing their own instruments again. So it's like kind of like this whole crazy full circle of stuff that influences me. What about you?
Definitely because I started singing so young. My favorite people were Hilary Duff and Avril Lavigne and Michelle Branch. So, and as I started to get older and I discovered more of, a lot more alternative rock, and nowadays, like the best people that I really look up to are definitely 90s rock girl bands like, Hole, Courtney Love, and Shirley Manson and Garbage. And my absolute favorite person is Gwen Stefani from No Doubt. So I really try to evoke their energy now. And I like to channel that like girl power thing with being in a female fronted band. Like, I feel like it's like the perfect chance to represent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How, sorry, I can't speak today. Goodness. What is the song making process for you guys?
Song making?
Yep.
Oh boy.
So
what would you say?
I would say that we each are responsible for our own instrument. So it starts with like one person jamming. We might come to practice and Mike is like kind of just in his own world, and he might start, playing a riff, and the other guys are going to build up on it and slowly build, their parts around that. And then I start to kind of get an idea and I hear something, I start writing my lyrics. So I would say it's like a growing together. And then when we feel like we have like a solid jam going on, then we'll start to kind of nitpick and like place pieces and parts together. So it's very much a united effort. And it's nice that we feel that we have control of our own instrument. So everybody really feels like they can express themselves. But it's definitely a joint progress.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the process behind the one you sent me? I think it was called Nothing to Show. I really like that one a lot.
That one's actually a little different because we normally bring our, riff and our idea to band practice. That one particular day, our drummer wasn't available, so we met at our bassist house, and it's in his environment, it's more acoustic because it's a smaller space. So that song actually began acoustically with I think it was started with our bassist Ben, who had that little parts like do 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 do, that little catchy thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
He began that, you built on it, and we sort of just did the process as that. And then we brought the song to EJ, our drummer, and it was like he just knew what to do. So yeah, that one was pretty interesting. So you could say it started off as an acoustic song, and we made it more lively.
It was an acoustic bass that started off with. Yep. So we started writing it there, and ironically, some of the riffs came from the song "Seeing Stars," which is not out yet. Sorry,
that's to come.
Spoiler alert.
You'll see it.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
"Seeing Stars" is one of those songs that it got rewritten about 4 or 5 times, and sporadic riffs
Yes.
pop up in other songs now because, hey, this one's no longer serves its purpose in Seeing Stars. So it just kind of kept evolving that way.
Yeah, a lot of times if we have like a riff and we're like, we really love that, but like it doesn't really fit here, we'll kind of bank it and then we'll bring it back at a later date. And yeah, I really like that system seems to really work where we don't feel like we lost a really good riff. We place it so we make it fit. So yeah, that seemed to be really working for us. And Nothing to Show is one of my favorite songs. So I was so excited to have everyone hear it. And I felt like it was really like some songs really feel like they hit home and they're really like evoking my energy I'm trying to express. And I felt like that song, like it, my expression came very easily to me. It was very like quick lyrical writing process. I just sort of felt like it was already known what I was going to convey. So it was very effortless, that one song.
I love music like that. That's actually why I'm a big fan of the metal and rock genres, because you can just feel the emotion coming out of the music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's passionate and they mean what they say.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing in music is if you don't feel like the artist means what they're singing or playing, it's hard to really like resonate with that. So like your job as the artist to sell what you're trying to say.
Like if the artist is full of it, it's real apparent. And with a lot of bands like this, I can tell that they are super passionate about their work, which is why I love doing this.
Yeah, so we appreciate that. Thank you.
Speaking of music, your solo stuff you sent me, tell me more about that, because I was really enjoying it. The Joyride, I said to my friends, they're all like, this is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that is like entirely my own little world. So I have this little makeshift studio in my house, and I, set up all my stuff, and it's in like a larger closet. And I just kind of sit in there with a notebook and I just write. So the beats, I oftentimes collaborate with YouTube artists. So working with a lot of different styles in that realm. And there's a lot of resources on YouTube for people that write beats too. So if anyone is ever thinking like, oh, I'm not sure where to get access to that. So that's been really helpful for me. And yeah, a lot of those songs kind of just come from a sudden spark of like, I'm just like, I have an idea and I'm feeling it and I'm gonna go right home and just get in there and write it. So that's kind of like what you're seeing with the solo stuff was.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to professionally mix. So it's just me on my free GarageBand program that's installed to my Mac. And I kind of just wing it, but I don't know. I enjoy it. And I feel like I've learned a good amount from, being independent and mixing my own things and stuff like that.
I actually had that song on repeat for like the last hour, if I'm being totally honest.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much.
I have a buddy who he does EDM and electric music professionally. I think he can give you a hand with that. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Mono Mode. Awesome dude. I actually worked with him on here a while back. He was like, I think my second or third interview. And like I've known him before he actually started making music. Like Casey and I were always in these Instagram group chats. And he's a really down-to-earth dude and makes all of his own stuff. And he always switches up his styles. So I think you guys can make something good with that. I could actually reach out to him maybe today or tomorrow.
Absolutely. I love networking with other musicians and just kind of like bouncing ideas off each other. And especially with more, different genres. With my solo music, as you can see, I kind of have a little bit of a range of, I go from like almost like borderline like grunge all the way to like maybe like lo-fi R&B and every sort of things in between. Yeah. So like, I really feel like the key to keeping people on their toes is like, oh, well, what type of genre should I expect next? And, and keeps you fresh, it keeps you practicing.
Yeah. That's why I love my buddy Mono Mode. He always switches up his styles. Like he is he's mainly electronic. Each song he does is a different subgenre of electronic. He will go through all the different subgenres, make music from all of it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like really... when it comes to music with myself, my mind, I always try to explore every type of genre. Like I can go from one day listening to like orchestra or some crap to just blasting straight up death metal the next day.
Yeah.
Like,
it keeps it fresh. Like, that really exercises the mind, I feel a lot. Just being able to jump from one to the other and, you wouldn't like to be in a rut as a musician to feel like, oh, I only have my niche, but like I feel like, you know, to not be able to expand, and like being versatile is super important being a successful musician.
Yeah. Like for example, yesterday I was listening to bloody Beethoven, and then I was like listening to Currents,
Yeah.
like, Currents this morning
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Because honestly, like even though I'm into all different genres, metal is always my home genre because metal is the reason I'm still alive right now.
Yeah.
Same.
And yeah, have you ever heard of the band Currents?
Oh yeah,
Yep,
they're good.
they're the reason I'm still alive right now. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Their song
Yeah.
"Shattered" hit me
Yes.
so hard. I'm like my darkest moment.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad for that. Yeah, that's exactly the perfect example of how powerful music can be and the impact that it can have on people.
I would love to work with them one day. Actually,
Mhm.
I worked with a band who actually has played with them in the past and works with the same label as them, and he might get me in touch with them. I'm like, I hope you do. They're called Savage Hands.
Yeah.
Speaking of the vocalist recently, awesome guy.
Really?
Nice.
Very cool. Very nice.
I love the metal. I love like the world of metal and everything else. Like the communities are so nice because like there are big bands who will talk with you, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
one of my favorite bands gave me my very first video interview, and he taught me how to use Zoom. He helped me set up. I'm like, you're the best, man. Tyler Fox from Arrival of Autumn, awesome band.
Oh,
Yep,
Wow,
they're from
that's so
Canada.
nice. It's just, yeah, it's the best thing is, you know, finding people that, you know, like-minded people that, you know, want to build each other up and discuss ideas. It's really grateful when we find people that, you know, like they're on the same track. So
Yeah, I only
that's cool.
started this up because I have a genuine love for music and I wanted to give back. Because honestly, if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be here right now. So I started this up to spread the names of lesser known bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
It's great. It's a
actually.
great thing that you
It's
do.
fun, and also you make so many awesome friends when doing this. Like,
Exactly.
like when I worked with Sepsis, and I put myself. They told me put what you do up on our page, see what happens. I'm like, okay, that's how I found you, and that is how I found the. That's how I found DI Records.
Yeah, yeah,
Not what I was expecting at all. You know,
yeah.
I expect maybe 1 or 2 responses. Nah, I get like 10 in a record label. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, a lot of people are ready to jump on the opportunities. So there's definitely, that's what's nice about the music community is they're pretty open with it and they're eager to share. So it's nice.
Honestly, like I was at a loss for words. I'm still trying to process that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my next question, which I should have should have asked a while ago, is who would you guys love to collaborate with in studio and on stage? And you have more than one option. Go nuts.
It's so easy for me. It's Gwen Stefani with no doubt. She's my top favorite person. Also, maybe like a Lana Del Rey. Like I want to like switch it up a little bit and like let's go with something more melodic and soft. So I would like to be like, oh, let's rock out, and then I also like to, you know, bring it down, and so yeah, that's mine.
Let's see. Music wise, I would say have George Lynch from Dawkins featured on a track, like shredding it. And as for like a vocal feature, Keith Buckley of Every Time I Die.
Those are great options. I applaud you, good sir.
Oh, those are, yeah, those are dreams.
That's great options. Like,
Amazing.
honestly, I love their music.
We've seen Every Time I Die a couple of times in concert. And, like I'm not really a big metal person, but I was having fun. Like they put on a good show.
I brought her to her first. Well, she technically brought me, but it
Yeah.
was her first Every Time I Die show about like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I brought you for I think a
It's
birthday.
gift. And she was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "This is what I'm talking about."
I was like, I had a feeling it would be fun, and I just kind of love seeing all genres live because it's like you get to be a part of their world.
Yeah.
So, cool.
That's how I felt at Warped Tour when I used to go. I went for 3 years in a row. My biggest regret was not learning about it sooner. Because I found out about it like 2016. And I'm just like, why couldn't I have found it sooner? Because when I
I know.
went there, it was insane. I saw like a lot of my favorite bands. Some 41. I saw like
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great. My bad. Bowling for Soup, Real Big Fish. That's how actually I got into underground. That's what started me exploring more music.
Yeah,
was
that's
Warped
so
Tour.
cool to see those bands.
Oh, dude,
That's awesome.
probably the second Warped Tour I went to was like 2008. I saw some no-name girl with an acoustic guitar named Katy Perry play on this
Yeah, so
tiny
she got
stage.
famous.
Dude, she
Yeah.
played on this little tiny stage next to like the porta potties, and now I like look at it, I'm like, this girl just played the Super Bowl. Like
Isn't that
that's
crazy?
insane. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty cool seeing that like progression from Warped Tour to Super Bowl. You know,
I was like amazed when you told me that.
Dude, Kevin Lyman launched careers, I swear.
Oh, so many.
Like
Just,
Eminem, Ice-T, Katy Perry. Like he launched careers. It was amazing.
dude, it's insane. Paramore. I mean, they were
Exactly.
starting to come up, but they did Warped Tour.
Oh, I miss
And
Paramore. They had some good
Well,
stuff. Fucking Misery Business or whatever the hell that one's called.
Mhm. Love Paramore.
Honestly, I grew up. That was like my high school days.
Oh yeah, I feel like everyone loves Paramore. I don't think I know anyone that doesn't. You
they-
don't?
no,
You're the first, honestly. I feel like everybody's always like they like it.
it came out and it was like it was in the Boston hardcore scene, so it was like,
You were-
I'm not into
It
that
was
stuff,
too
dude.
cool for
You
Paramore.
know, I like Shere Khan and Blacklisted and
Yeah.
yeah.
There's got to be one
Death Before
song you think
Dishonor.
is. You got to kind of think that Misery Business was catchy. Can you remember that one?
Ah,
It was
Yeah.
extremely catchy.
That You Get was so catchy too.
what is that song EJ always wanted to cover?
Crush, crush, crush.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not bad.
there
It's
are.
not bad. It's
They're
just being 17 when that
So he
stuff came
kinda
out, I was
likes
like,
yeah.
The funniest thing about this is like I have friends who have never once listened to like rock or metal in their lives. They're always like into hip hop and stuff. So I played them. Actually, I did play them the song you sent me,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got probably the best reactions out of them in a while
Oh my God, really?
because they're not used to that music, and now they love it. I'm over here like, actually, one of them said to me, "And you do this why?" I'm like, "It's fun."
Yeah. That's
He
amazing.
actually, they're like, I turned them into rock and metal hits overnight. It was hilarious.
Mhm.
Like whenever I work with a group, I always send my music to them because they're always like so uncultured in the world of rock and metal, and now they're like sworn metalheads. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
You converted them. You showed them
That's
a
awesome.
world. Yeah.
That wasn't even intentional. I just wanted to show them to be like, here's some music, give it a listen, see what happens. And now they're just full on like addicted to it. It's great.
Yeah. You turned them onto it, and now they can't go back. That's nice.
I think my next question, which is going to be, what is the best piece of advice you were ever given when entering music?
You go first. That's a good question.
just don't give up. That's it. Don't give up, because even on your worst day, you're still better than the last time you played. So it's like you can sit there, like I said, I'm 31, and I've been on tour, I've played huge festivals, I've played with huge bands in my past, but I'm not gonna stop. Like if I stop now, all that was a waste. And it's like that's the only thing that like keeps me going, it keeps me alive, is just to keep playing. Because there's
Mhm.
always something new and always something fun you can keep doing. And I'm never gonna stop. And that's probably the best advice I ever got. It was actually from this guy, Derek Kurzweil told me this. He was in Seamless with Jesse Leach from Killswitch Engage. He was in Shadows Fall and Unearth. He's the drummer of those bands. So like when I became friends with him in like 2004, like that was the best advice I'd ever gotten.
Yeah.
So
Great.
shout out to Derek.
Shut up, Derek.
I love Killswitch.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Killswitch.
Jesse actually played Seamless, the band that they're in together. They actually played my backyard like, 16 years ago. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
Well, I would say my best advice was definitely when I was told by my instructor in high school that I would always be overthinking before I was going on stage, and I was always like getting anxious about like little details, and I would be nervous about what if that one note, like what if that one challenging note goes bad, or I would always be having little nitpick things that would kind of like go in circles in my head, and I would get hung up on it. And if I was overthinking it so much, like I would make the mistake. And the best advice was just him telling me like, just don't overthink it, try to forget about it. And like if I'm worried that a note is too low, just sing it as if pretending it's not, and sort of trying to trick your brain if you have an anxious mind, just to trick it. And like long term, I would say if you tell somebody that has an anxious mind, like, oh, put it out of your head, that's not really like an effective way. But when it came to performing, if I just put that thought into my mind, I could evoke that. Short term, like it's a really good way of just forgetting about that. And the more you think about it, the more it would happen. So that really helped me relax on stage.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned playing at festivals. What was that like?
Oh God. This is probably about 12 years ago. Ben and I, the bassist, used to be in this metal band called View of a Burning City. We did tours. We played big festivals. Like we played, God, I have all this stuff around here too. We played with like Killswitch Engage, Unearth, All That Remains, and Once Beloved on one bill in Northampton, Mass. Let's see. We co-headlined a show with Twisted Sister. That was so sick, by the way.
Awesome.
You have no idea. It's just, I don't know, dude. It was like between 2007 and 2010, I was in 2 different bands that just like toured everywhere, and it was awesome, dude. Just like looking out, like we played in Viva Burning City. We played the Gathering of the Juggalos on the main stage, and I want to say it's that 2000. Yeah, I think it's 2009 actually. And dude, it was crazy. Like I'm standing there, it's 400 degrees in the middle of a cornfield on the main stage, and I'm playing, and like, you know, Ice Cube's just rolling by on his golf cart. There's Pauly Shore hanging out there.
That's crazy.
So I will say, the guys from ICP, really nice, down to earth people. Very polite, very, very nice people, which I was not expecting back then. But yeah, that was probably like the biggest festival. Like they had helicopter rides and stuff, and it was, dude, it was just insanity because it's on this massive place called Cave and Rock in Indiana or Illinois, and it was just like this massive campsite. So all in all, crazy. Like seeing the guys from Gore walk around like putting their makeup on, like, oh sorry, I just went a little too far there, but it's been fun. It's been fun, and like I said, I mean, I'm not done. Like I want to keep doing that.
Definitely. That's amazing. I wish I was there. That would have been an awesome sight.
Dude, it was crazy from like age 17 to 19, not realizing what was actually happening. It just blows my mind looking back going, holy shit. Can I swear on this or no?
Go for it.
It's just holy shit, you know, like this is actually happening. What do you mean Twisted Sister is like, I'm co-headlining a show with them? Like it was insanity. Or hanging out with Killswitch, because that particular show with Once Beloved, All That Remains, and Unearth was to save Zing Studios, which is the same studios that all of our bands at the time were like recording at. So Adam D actually works there, co-owns it, I believe. So it's just like crazy seeing these people like, hey, what's going on? You want a beer? Like, yeah.
Oh, that must have been insane. I wish I went to that. I wish I was old enough to go to that back then. I was still like a little kid. Let's see. Oh man. I mean, I'm only 23, so way too young back then. Oh man,
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen that though. Oh, that was amazing. Now you got me thinking. Damn it.
Oh, dude, you're still young, so you have plenty of time, man.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Do whatever you want and just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Never quit.
Yep. Never quit.
Exactly. Thank you. I think I'm gonna wrap things up here because all my questions were answered, and I have nothing else to really think about right now. We'll think of right now.
Yeah. No, this was
All right.
amazing.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you doing what you do for bands and, you know, building us up. And yeah, it's really great. Thank you.
We do have a new single called Apples to Oranges out on March 19th.
Yes.
All streaming services, so that should be a fun one.
People look out for that. That should be fun. So
I look forward to it. I cannot wait. All right, this has been another Nerds Order Music interview. Today, our guests were 2 members of Jet Set Future. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
You too.
bye.
Thank you.